Hi, thank you for your question. I'm not sure the answer to this, but I do know one thing. I will never get pregnant again. And I know people watching this who haven't seen me before, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, you were pregnant?" I wasn't only pregnant, but I gave birth and I'm still raising him. And he's great. I'm so proud of like the kid I've raised and who I'm continuing to raise, you know what I mean? He has so many good years left and he's awesome. This is me the day I found out I was pregnant. Obviously, it's pre-transition. This is a picture of me when I was probably, I'm just guessing, like maybe 7 months along, because I really didn't show until the end. Now, if this picture isn't Sweet Home Alabama, I don't know what is. I still lived in New Hampshire, though. This is my son and I, like, right after I had him, first time holding him. I was scared, because, they, give you the baby, after they shoot you up with tons of shit. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking fall asleep. They're like, it's fine. They're leaving the room. I'm like, I'm gonna fall asleep holding this baby. It's fine. You'll know what to do. You're a mother. I hate that shit. We've gone too many years just lying out our ass telling everybody that everything is instinctual. Risk factors and everything should still be considered. Don't let me hold the baby drugged up. This is me and my son when we first got home from the hospital, got kicked out of my baby's dad's house. You're obviously probably thinking, oh my god, you are in no place to have a child. And you are absolutely correct. This is almost a decade ago. I've done everything to turn my life around, but it was not a good time. I'm glad I got pregnant because my son is I love him so much. But, I wasn't in a spot to have any business getting pregnant. I didn't like being pregnant, though. It wasn't a wonderful, serene experience for me. And not because I'm trans or anything, but it's so uncomfortable in my opinion. And I feel really blessed because my mom was very transparent to me when it came to she didn't like being pregnant either with me. And a lot of people, they act like it's taboo to say things like that. Like, oh my god, you're insulting the gift of a child. Oh, they're gonna think you don't like them, you don't want them. I didn't think that at all when my mom told me she didn't like being pregnant. I was same, shit sucks. But I remember speaking out about it once about how I was uncomfortable, I couldn't wait to give birth so I wouldn't be pregnant anymore. And one of my relatives was like, how could you say that? You should be appreciating the time you have. A lot of people can't get pregnant and you should really just be thankful and it's not gonna last forever. And I'm here to tell you a decade later, still didn't like being pregnant. It's so weird how there's taboos surrounding mothers. They're not supposed to say they don't like being pregnant. You're not supposed to say that motherhood is hard, it's overwhelming, it's exhausting. Can't ever admit you're at the end of your rope, can't do that. The reality is, in my opinion, being pregnant was, it was not a good experience. It was uncomfortable. I was in a lot of pain. I was also in recovery at the time for an ED, so it was also very, dehumanizing. Everybody had to tiptoe around me at the doctor's office. I couldn't even get, weighed facing the scale. Now, I probably have some pregnant women watching this because when I used to, live stream all the time, I think we were up to, 5 people that were watching our live stream, at different times, when they were, actively in labor. So a lot of moms follow me. And I feel I gotta say this, even though I didn't like pregnancy, I also remember when I was pregnant, people would tell me, horror stories about giving birth. And there are birth stories that are very traumatic, obviously, I'm not downplaying that. But did you ever notice that when you're pregnant, they only tell you the horror stories? Nobody ever comes up to you when you're pregnant and says, hey, giving birth to me was like a piece of cake. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna do awesome. You're gonna be great. Nobody says that, and why? Why do other moms have this prerogative to, scare the shit out of, new moms who are pregnant? What the fuck? I remember when I got my dose of, Pitocin or whatever, I'm already nervous, it's my first kid, everybody's told me all these, horror stories about giving birth, and my son's father, updated his Facebook about how, they just gave me Pitocin, and do you know what? One of our family members at the time, the comment they decided to leave was telling me about how horrible Pitocin was and what an awful experience it was. Why would you say that? And that's normal for other moms to talk to other moms like that. Why do you want other moms to be scared? So I'm just here to say that even though pregnancy I did not like, giving birth was very easy for me. Labor, I had a very lengthy labor because they didn't believe me that I was in labor. It was more annoying than painful. But delivery? Oh my god, so easy. I watched Ella Enchanted. So some horror stories people told me, they told me stitches were awful. Well, I wouldn't know because I didn't need anything, but I'm telling you right now, if I did need them, I wouldn't have felt shit because it was numb as hell. Number 2, you're gonna shit yourself. Hell yeah, I shit myself. And I was so scared. I'm gonna shit myself. Oh my god, my baby's daddy and all his friends are gonna see me shit myself. I didn't fucking care at that point or afterward. I just brought a fucking life into this world. Like, one of y'all wanna hop onto this bed, this gurney, whatever, and give birth, you know what I mean? Spread eagle? Okay, if you can't do that, then shut up, bozo, I don't care. I also, speaking of shit, was nervous about shitting after birth, because everyone's like, oh my god, it's awful. I dropped a deuce like the same day. It was fine. I was Gucci. So, my birth experience, just in case anyone is watching and getting nervous because I said I couldn't stand pregnancy, birth was fine. I know, some people have awful experiences, but they're not all awful. Even though all you're hearing is awful right now, they're not awful. But when it comes to, like, other avenues of, becoming a parent, I'm not sure, what would happen. I don't know what the future holds. I know that, we likely would never, do, like, you know, a, traditional adoption. And that's because, I have been friends on here with some adoptees, and after hearing their stories and about how the adoption system works, I never want to be a part of it. But also because even though my husband and I, we've had our lives together for a long time now, we're doing great, you know, I have a very lengthy history of mental illness. I would never be approved for adoption. And my husband, you know, he hasn't had a squeaky clean history either, even though, like, you know, we've stayed out of trouble for years, stayed sober for years, stayed employed, go to school, whatever. We've done everything right over the years. Or recent years, I should say. That type of stuff still comes up on a background check, so I don't even think we'd be considered. But that's okay, because I don't want anything to do with the adoption system in any form, unless it's reform. All I know is I'm not pushing another one out. That's all I know.